And
Get him a watermelon next time.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how they're like reaction. All right, I'll save it.
We live?
Yeah, we're
Hell
good to
yeah.
go.
Whoa, what's up? It's the All or Nothing Show. My name's Austin. We got Brock, Griffin, and special guest Miles.
What's going
Hicks.
on? What's going on?
What's up? And today, with this special guest, got actually a fourth mic that just came in yesterday, so excited for that. Getting the setup even bigger and bigger.
I know.
And we're starting the day off with a drink review, one that we haven't done yet.
Yeah, I saw these at Sheets, and because we weren't sure if we were going to get drinks in. Because the annoying thing is we have an order coming of like 7 cases of energy drinks, some for Austin, and then most for the gym. And the last time we ordered, they literally got here in like 20 hours. Like we ordered the afternoon, and then like the next morning they were here. So I was like, oh, like maybe it'll be like that this time. And then like I think we ordered Tuesday. And I'm guessing they'll come like, midday today, but it's annoying because we would have just grabbed from there.
Yeah.
But anyway, we paid full price at Sheets. And so,
No, 2
yeah.
for 3.
No, I mean, they have the 2 for $4.50 or something, but it's like, saves like 20
$4.50?
cents or something.
G
Wait,
Fuel is crack.
Because
I never
I feel
had
like
it.
we've looked at a couple different G Fuels before, but I haven't seen this.
No, this
before.
one's new. They had this one is newer, and then also they had one that Maddie tries, the Tropical Rain.
Griffin.
It wasn't
Who's
that
the
good.
gamer for this one?
Yo, it's got ketones.
I was
So
gonna ask about
we're going
that.
keto,
Going
baby.
keto?
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
That'll offset my
Yeah,
Ben
and the other thing I like to
Jerry's.
say is so they have on your energy, focus, endurance, and then I like the little icon for reaction, just like a hand moving fast.
Remember,
like, oh man,
comfortable gamers.
Oh,
Oh, what?
yeah.
We should ask
Yeah.
Trick before he rolled out what he thinks about. Well, he already
Yeah.
said
Well,
what he
he's
thinks
going to
about them.
babysit.
Yeah, and he's Red Bull through and through.
Yeah.
Which who likes Red Bull? Like who enjoys Red Bull?
Tastes like battery acid.
Dude,
Yeah.
like
But I'll drink 'em
he's
sometimes.
like diehard.
Well, think back to, because I remember when I used to play like soccer in middle school or high
Yeah.
school, and sometimes it would be a treat before a game. If I was picking up a friend, my dad would get us like an energy drink to split.
Mhm.
Back then, it was like the full fat Monster or like full sugar.
Yeah.
They
The
have
black
fat in
ones?
'em?
No,
No,
they're
just the-
I'm just
Like
messing.
he's just like
That's
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
on like
one
how
of my
loaded
friends
it
used to
is.
say that a lot.
I
before
still
the
get my
sugar
mind
free.
blown before
But
you...
hey,
All right.
simmer down.
Yeah,
But-
simmer down, my man.
Monster, Red Bull, and then what was the last? I guess Rockstar. Those
Rockstar.
are like the
Nos.
3.
Nos,
But
yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
feel like all of those just taste so like, I don't know, just nasty. There's
Yeah.
no like individual flavor
No.
there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What did you used to do?
I don't even remember what the fuck I was going to say. I feel like I just got like shut down like a child.
I'm
yeah.
speaking.
I'm speaking.
All right, let's crack these bad boys open. Let's get it. Miles, you've never had G-Flow. Or
I've never
not
seen
G-Flow,
it.
G-Fuel.
Oh, it's only at the sheet.
I don't know. I used to work in Sheets.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, it's like it's newer.
Yeah.
Are there any secret menus there?
Not that I
Like the McGangbang? Do you remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
McDonald's, I think that's like fried chicken between 2 burgers.
McGangbang.
I know Wawa has a secret menu.
They do?
Yeah. You tap the little bird in the bottom corner. For real. Do it next time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
See what you can find.
Okay.
It's like a
I don't know how I feel
speakeasy.
about this one.
It tastes like rainbow sherbet
It's like-
to me.
It does. It has like a rainbow sherbet aftertaste.
And it's like empty at the
It
same
almost
time.
empty. Yeah, it's almost like nothing there.
It's like a LaCroix rainbow
It's
sherbet.
nothing that you don't like,
Kinda
but it's
is.
nothing that you're like.
I just taste all ketones.
That's why it has to be.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the
Yeah,
key
he
taste.
feels the fat
Yeah.
melt.
I feel like it's carbonated but not carbonated at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is weird.
It's like a flat flavor.
Yeah.
It's like they watered it down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I will say, the last time I had I almost call this a bang, a G Fuel. They have the same vibe. I got pretty jacked up, I feel like.
I'm gonna say this is the last time I'm buying G Fuel, just
Yeah.
because I feel like it's like a half-ass energy drink in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like
I like the Swedish fish one.
the reason I got it was because I feel like, Rain, Bang, they're pretty straightforward. You know what you're getting, which is fine. But it's kind of like getting Starbucks. Like, it's good, but you're never gonna be like, wow, I really remember that drink. So I was like, okay, let me go out of the box, get this, see what I think. But just
It's no blame.
it's not worth the. Yeah, it's no blame.
You drink coffee?
Yeah.
You ever tried Blanchard's?
How
How do you brew your coffee?
Oh, I'm not a crazy
your
coffee
egg.
No, tell
drinker.
us.
Like,
Yeah.
I've had Blanchard's from what's it called? What's the ice cream spot?
Ice cream.
Gelati. Yeah, they have
Oh, you mean
Blanchard.
the darkest dark?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
ice
yeah.
cream, or they actually?
Yeah.
I don't think they serve.
No,
that
they
in
don't serve
coffee.
that
Yeah.
for
Ice
coffee,
cream would be
but
banging.
that's the only
Yeah.
time I've had Blanchard's. But like, I'm not like a huge coffee drinker.
Yeah.
I drink coffee like honestly for fun. Like I don't know. It's not. It doesn't really
I
do
won't get
anything to
into
me.
it. I don't want to.
These two are polar opposites in terms of their brewing. Austin is, what is it, Folgers and the Ninja?
Yeah, he
No.
tried to grind his
Look,
beans in a
y'all are trying to
blender.
shit on me so hard right now.
It's the
I'm
dumbest
not,
fucking
I'm not
thing.
doing Folgers. I'm doing other blend. I might have did Starbucks in that
chock
thing.
full of
But a
nuts.
Ninja, that's a expensive blender.
But it's a blender, not a grinder.
I like coarse grounds.
I'm not gonna lie,
I got a
Austin.
mortar and pestle when you come out to the farm.
Wait, what's that? The twist thing?
The thing that you make guacamole.
Oh,
with.
It's like
oh.
the
So you're like-
it's like stabbing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You want
my
that
roommate, he
fresh
drinks
ground.
cold and he grinds his up with a tiny one. Like he's
Yeah, I have a hand grinder. I used to do that and like just
Is that
going
just like
through- well,
nostalgic? Why wouldn't you just use an
No.
electronic one?
Well, all right, I'll tell
Costs
you.
a lot.
One, if you get an
It's
electric
artisan.
one like a Mr. Coffee or whatever, an electric one like a blade, blade's gonna cut it up inconsistent. It's not as accurate. Those are cheap though. My blender is probably the cheapest Burr conical grinder, meaning it basically kind of grinds the coffee beans like this rather than through like a blade just slicing it. So it's more even, it's more consistent, you can dial it in more. The problem with getting a machine conical grinder is it's like $100 plus. Like a nice one is like $300-$400. I have a $100 one. But if you want to go hand Burr conical grinder, then like the one I have is like $20. But one, it's annoying to set the settings. It doesn't even have numbers. You just kind of twist the dial and guess, and then it just takes you probably like 3 minutes to kind of grind enough for a
oh snap.
14 ounce.
So yours has numbers and stuff. My roommate is just literally I think the grinder.
The
No,
grind and
no,
go.
yeah.
What's yours?
Well, mine now does.
Reeling
Yeah,
that
the
fish.
past 2 years I've had one that has like an actual like numbers, and yeah, I set it, and it's it's worth the investment at the time if you brew enough. But yeah,
So you're a big coffee drinker, like.
Yo,
yeah, I'm
like,
pretty into
blown
it.
out.
I'm not like compared to real coffee enthusiasts.
I don't
I'm
even
not
wanna
quite
see
there.
them.
But
Yo.
yeah,
What-
you would
what-
fit
If you're
in.
not real,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, you'll get shit on.
Yeah.
I feel
we went to
very
this
skilled.
I would call
I
it
brought
like
them too.
seance, like coffee tasting, where like the people
A
there
coffee
would,
tasting?
hands behind back.
Let me describe it. All right, real quick, because the people don't want to hear this shit. They want to hear about miles
Yeah,
or whatever. Real quick, it's called a coffee cupping. It's a
It was a nice
consistent.
experience.
It's a consistent way that people taste different coffees
Rookie move.
across the world internationally. So basically, they'll have like 6 little cups of coffee grounds spaced out on a table.
We
You'll
have
go
to
through.
chant.
No. Yeah. You'll go through, you'll kind of smell each one because you're noticing the different aromas between a wash process, a dry process, a Guatemalan,
snap.
Colombian, whatever it is, coffee. And then from there, they kind of, it's not really brewing the coffee, but it's kind of steeping it. They pour hot water in there. It's not to like really drink it, but just to kind of allow it to brew a bit and then, notice the aroma. So then you'll go around smelling each coffee, noticing now that the water's brewing in it, what does it smell like? How does it change based off your first reaction to it? And then the last time, after it sits for about like 10, 11 minutes, and they basically kind of get the grounds that floated to the top off, you go through with a spoon, you taste each one 3 times. It's not just like sipping it, you kind of have to like slurp it. And so it's like this, like you get a little bit on a spoon, and it's like this really loud, like, it's like this really hard, sharp slurp because what you're trying to do is get your retronasal to really
Oh my
connect.
God.
Like that grapefruit
Because
video.
you're getting that, you're getting like, because your nose is involved a lot with how you smell things is
Yeah.
a lot of times how you
Yeah,
taste.
yeah.
So anyway, you go through 3
Yeah.
times because specialty coffee will change in flavor as it cools because it's
And
quality.
I will say, it's interesting. I am giving him shit, but it is interesting because each bag will kind of say like flavor notes, and if you almost like, just picture that, you can taste the notes in each.
Flavor
Oh,
notes
really?
are tricky though because sometimes, so I'll say quickly on these, it's like one thing is if you see something you're like, oh, I'm supposed to taste this, you're gonna kind of trick yourself and
Yeah,
taste it anyway.
yeah.
It's best, honestly, like I try to let myself not look first around and see what are my honest original thoughts before,
And then read it.
and then kind of read it and say, like, oh, I also taste that. Because a lot of people have different experiences. What might taste like to you, like this reminds me of my grandma's peach pie or something.
Yeah.
Someone else has no clue what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
But it's not that it's wrong. Another thing is sometimes some roasters will like choose really quirky flavor notes just to kind of get people sold. Like if they put like, chocolate or marshmallows. They know like people like
Yeah.
you guys will just be like, oh, that sounds yummy.
Yeah,
And so they'll buy
it
it,
sounds-
and then they'll be like, I don't taste it. You
It's
know?
like protein bars. You see the
Yeah.
picture on the front of the
Yeah.
bar that's like a delicious looking donut, and then you're like,
It's dry. as
Rocky
all-
Road.
Yeah.
Oh, this'll be
that's
good.
a good comparison.
Yeah.
It's like bitter, disgusting bean juice. Dirt.
Yeah, but that's enough on coffee.
Yeah, what do we rate these?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A toast.
6 out of 10.
6?
Giving it a hard 6.
Yeah. All right. One more sip.
Yeah, hold on.
6-4.
6.5.
Oh wow. I think I said I was a harsh number person last time I was on here.
Well,
Be honest, be honest.
He
you
did,
drink
he
before?
did green 3D, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't
And
like
he didn't
green?
like it.
Oh, we love
No,
it.
I did not like it.
But it wasn't
like,
that great.
It's
Don't
the
let
same thing, kind of
Christians see
like
that.
what
Have
you
you
said.
had all the 3Ds?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm
'cause
pretty sure.
Have you had the pina colada? That's someone new?
No, I think that's
Okay.
probably the only one I haven't
You have
had.
to have it when we have it here at Iron Built Drum.
It's like a 4.
No, honestly, I would give this like I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say 5 just because y'all made me feel
That's fair.
bad.
No, that's
What would you
good.
say your favorite energy
It's
drink
honest.
is?
All or nothing.
My favorite one is probably just like a zero. One of the monsters.
Zero.
Monsters.
Those
Yeah.
are safe, man. Like, you
That's
can't
yeah.
go wrong
his
with them.
favorite
They
drink.
aren't like, oh shit, but they're like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oldie but a good.
I mean, so yeah, it's consistent. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. This is just like, it's good. I would drink it. Like, I would buy it if there wasn't any other, but it's not like, oh, I need to go get one of these.
Yeah,
that's kind of like,
sheets down the road.
that's kind of what and then you like said
Yeah.
2 for $4.50. Like, I'm not spending
That's
3
high.
on one.
high as fuck.
So I just like base it on all of those different things before I give it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I give it a 4.5, 5.
Yeah.
Respectable.
I'm a harsh
Respectable. No, dude.
No, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I want.
Let him
Brutal.
try a Jocko.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I seen y'all talking
Bro,
about
someone
Jocko.
posted on their story, someone I follow had like 2 of them, and I wanted to message and be like, bro, you don't actually
Throw
like
it
that
out.
shit,
You don't
do
know
you?
what you're getting
But since he
into.
bought 2, I assume they actually do like it. So it's like,
Yeah, or they're just so in love with Jocko that they just like they're,
that's some
they're like
people.
blindly
That's
in
some
love.
people.
Yeah, that's a lot. What about have y'all had adrenalines?
We have the
Yeah.
They're
watermelon
terrible.
one. Yeah.
Okay, we're on the same
They're the
page.
worst
Bro.
energy
Same
drink
page.
ever.
Bro.
Well,
I throw
find
mine
that-
out.
I was waiting for
Yeah.
him to say they're the greatest.
Bro, adrenaline
I don't know if
literally
y'all,
gave us. I'm gonna shut you
that
down
and
this
rock
time. Adrenaline literally gave us intestinal pain later
Yeah,
that night,
it's
and it
literally-
doesn't taste good.
I do find that the drinks that have like a green tea extract is the caffeine source. I don't really like the taste though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You know, it's so funny. I was riding with this guy at work for a while
This one
during
has
COVID,
that.
Shit.
and I kept smelling like a weird. It smelled like almost like cat urine smell every time he drank the drink, and it was adrenaline. And I was like,
Bro, you know what's sad?
it's like
What?
So I threw up on my story, I think like Sunday,
Bro.
just like get people's opinions. I was like, oh, like what energy
up.
drinks do you?
Yeah.
What
I was like,
ener-
wait, I didn't see that.
what energy drinks like do y'all want to see like Iron Built? Because I mean, we generally know what we want to get, but we might get some out of the box like wants or requests. And someone put adrenaline, and I was like, bro,
Brother.
I'm about to block you.
You have to
at this
block-
point.
you
don't belong in
Yo,
You
so
don't
trying
know what
to
they're gonna do to your
sabotage this
gym.
Was Alani
Yeah.
new? Was that requested a lot?
Yeah, well, one girl requested it, and we are getting a case coming of
Which
the
kind?
Watermelon Wave, like the newer one.
I saw they did like
It's
a little
pretty good.
I
rebrand with
wanted
their
to
drinks.
try
Yeah,
the
I'm
witch's
not-
brew, but I don't know if that's an energy.
That wasn't on the catalog or whatever. But anyway, yeah, so we have a case of Alani New. I want to see how, like, I say females because very rare are dudes going to buy that. Not
Yeah,
even that
they're
it's
gonna
like a
have their-
female
yeah.
brand. Like, I like them, but it just doesn't have, that's not who they're targeting,
It's
you
a
know?
female brand.
Yeah, it's basically a female brand. So we'll see how those sell. I mean, if they do well and, girls like them, we'll get more of them. But we got 1 case of those, and then we got 2 cases of Merca Energy. Have you had a lot of those, or?
I had a lot of them when we went down for
Oh, the Nut Bash?
yeah, the nut bash. I was
Yeah.
knocking them things
They're
back.
good.
They're
Yeah.
giving away
Yeah,
for
they're
free.
great.
They're good as
yeah.
fuck, yeah.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so we got 2 cases of those, and then, or actually 3,
Yeah.
because of 2 victories, 1 for you.
I
But
don't know about y'all, but whenever there's an energy drink like America or Alani, because I know Alani has like biotin or America has some other things, I'm always like, this is vitamins. This is
Yeah.
good for me.
Oh, yeah. Good for me.
Level
Yeah.
it up. It's limitless.
Yeah, but and then we got a few cases of 3D. I feel like we got the blue, the pina colada, the gold, and the chrome, which is
Yeah.
like the strawberry lemonade.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then we already have like kind of split between the cases. We had some red, white, and blue ones, and then just blue. So,
All right.
Nice.
yeah,
Nice-
so a little
nice
variety
selection.
for
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Enough about energy drinks.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get to the meat.
Yeah, damn, how much we spent
15
14 minutes on coffee.
Guys,
and energy drinks.
We're
already
through it.
clicked off.
Yeah.
Miles, man. So the last time you were on the show, we talked a little bit. Well, actually, we talked a lot about muscle mileage and what your goals were, your plans were with that. And I guess you've already dropped the shirt you dropped the shirt before we did that show, or a few pieces of apparel, I'm sure. I don't really remember exactly all the details about that. But what are some things that you've been doing lately to, I guess, get back to, muscle mileage? Because I've seen over your stories you were trying to like revamp a few things, really dial in a few areas that you felt like maybe weren't as good as you would like to have been. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, I guess, over the past year.
Honestly, for over the past year, has it been over a
It's
year?
probably been a year at least.
Close
yeah.
to it.
I honestly wasn't doing anything with it for a little bit, just because I don't know. I honestly wasn't feeling like where I wanted to go. Because remember when we talked about it, like I was like, I don't know, should I go this route, or that route? And so I kind of just wanted to sit on it and let that just kind of blow over and figure out what I really wanted to do. And then I've obviously in every business, I was investing like a lot of money into it, and I was kind of like at a point where I was like, okay, let me like not try to jump to be like Alphalete, and let me like be a startup brand. Kind of like honestly like with the gym, it's like let me not buy 1,000 pieces of equipment and put myself in debt, and like let me like actually like get what the people want and keep building off what the people want and keep doing it that way. And so like I sat there for a while, and like before, I think I told you I just jump into things. I don't like plan things out, and so I was like, okay, let me actually like plan this out. Let me not just like, okay, I want to do this. Let me just do that. And so like I sat there and I made me a huge list like over like a period of weeks, and then I was just like, okay, I need to make sure all these things are done. Like whether it's like thank you cards, stickers, like all those things. Like I need to make sure those things are good first before I just like order and just do something. And then like I went back to how like when I made the first black shirts I made, because I sold those out like pretty fast, and like I just made something that I wanted to wear. And so like right now for me, I like wearing like little oversized t-shirts, and I was like, why not? I go back and do what I want to do. I know like because at the end of the day, like anything, I feel like you want to do what everyone else wants, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But at the end of the day, like to be passionate behind it and everything, like you have to do what you want. And so I was just like, I'm gonna do that again. And then like, so I just basically just.
And I want to touch on something real quick because you mentioned before I forget. Is I like what you said about kind of not trying to jump towards Alphalete or jump too far and go into debt. And it's not like you shouldn't go into any debt, because every business is different. Everyone has their own kind of finances. But I think that's something that's super important that I had to think about with the gym was like, we don't have to have everything to open. It's like we don't have to have every machine that we want by opening day. Like people will love it for what it is and see the growth and see where you're going and be excited when you
and
get
they like
new
that
things.
even more. Like when they can grow with you and see it, like,
exactly,
I remember when All or Nothing was just this one table, and
And I think it's super important with apparel because it's like you said, you can't know exactly what everyone wants, and there's no way you could. And honestly, it would be stupid to like buy a stupid amount of inventory, spread out so much as far as like your clothes if you don't have that kind of audience yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And so taking the steps that kind of, ordering an amount or diversifying your apparel enough that it kind of matches the size of your audience, and then growing with your audience, I think is a good route. I mean, you want to be probably a step ahead, but you don't want to be 10 steps ahead and then just have stuff lying around.
Exactly.
And I bet it's the same deal with you, Austin. It's kind of like, with buying units or buying products, I mean, you kind of like got to grow with, your consumer base. You can't just buy a shit ton and be like, well, if I buy it, people will buy it.
Yeah, because we did that like with one particular product. We ordered over 1,000 units, and that 1,000
live and
units
you learn,
lasted a long time. Where
exactly.
I could have diversified, like you said, into 3 different products with that over 1,000 units, and could have probably made a lot more moves.
And I will say too, because I guess with all of you guys, like I know with you, Brock, that you have very high expectations of what you want to deliver for people as far as the gym. And I know that everything's not quite as you want it to be yet, but I will say, like, everyone that's come in here has been kind of floored with what's already been accomplished, or like what it is like on the inside. And I know with you, Austin, too, that you have like goals for flavors, different products you want, but you know, with Overcome or other things that you've just recently released, like everyone has been loving that kind of stuff too. So I think sometimes, like you said, Miles, like you have these lofty goals, but it's important to remember too, like, you know, enjoy that season of where you're in right now and kind of really like grow that as best you can.
Yeah, I agree, because like I said, at the end of the day, like two things. One, like for example, let's say Overcome, right? You could drop that now, but if you could potentially have dropped that 10 years from now, 5 years from now. And since your audience has grown that much more, it could be that much more of a hit. You know,
you're right.
like you can do something. Like I remember when I was doing, you know, all like more so, like I was posting every day. I was doing workout edit videos. I was doing the swipe workouts and everything like that. And like, I'm not saying it didn't do good for me then, but if I, let's say, did it now, it could have done better now, just because like. Sometimes you don't have that right audience, or sometimes it's like not the right time, you know?
Sometimes you put in so much work. I mean, Griffin and I talk about this a lot because, like, I think, you know, when he or I, me less much now just because of this reason, but I know, like, he'll put in so much work into, like, a personal workout footage or voiceover or something. Like, we'll spend hours, or, you know, like I said, I used to, editing this like YouTube video that might get like 10 views, and it's like I'm putting in so much work for something that's not giving me a direct profit. And at some point you have to do that to eventually get somewhere. Like if you just constantly put out shit products, people aren't going to see the future if you don't give them a glimpse of the future.
Right.
But at the same time though, you got to know like where to put your time, because time is money. And if I'm putting in like 3 hours towards a YouTube video that's getting 20 views when I could be putting it towards personal training or my video editing work for clients, then it's like I'm wasting time.
And I think though that there's a necessary balance you have to have with that though, because like you said, like it is disappointing sometimes to put in time for something that doesn't get the reception that you want or other things like that. But sometimes I am surprised at, even if it didn't get like the likes I wanted or something like that, that people will reach out like 6 months later and
it
be
pays
like,
off.
hey, where was that place that you went when you made that like camping video, or like, you know, I really liked that like cooking thing that you did, or other things like that. So I think it's like important to remember too that like it was fun to do it, and it's like something I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
So even if there's not like the direct return that, because sometimes the Instagram algorithm I think just favors certain things over other things.
Yeah.
It's
Something
overwhelming
about
for sure.
booties, you know?
Yeah.
It favors
I need to
theirs
show
a
more
lot.
cheeks.
Yeah, that's all I get on my Explore page.
Yes, cheeks.
Yeah, for some reason that's all I see.
Yeah. I don't want it though.
My cheeks.
I hate it.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I think too though, like, for me, and I feel like a lot of people in general, we'll look at like, okay, let's say Ghost, right? We'll say Ghost because supplement company.
Yeah. And they're respectively big.
Yeah, and you see how big they are, and you're like, I have to do that, you know? Like, I have to do that to be there, and you're like, I have to do all this right now, and, you know, you don't know, you know? Yeah, exactly, because, like, I remember when I first got into it, I didn't pay attention to Christian. I ended up following him, like, years later, but, like, when vlogging, he really made vlogging, like, kind of cool to me, and, you know, you see he has the expensive camera and all this, and like I'm like, oh, I need this camera to start vlogging, and until then, I'm not gonna vlog. And really, at the end of the day, you're just stopping your progress and wasting time. And so, like I said, same thing with the clothing is, I was like, okay, I know that it was Alibaba, like Alibabi, however you say it. Like, okay, that's where these big companies go through. Like, that's what I need to do, but. Like, you don't think about the $100 samples you get every time you go over there, and, you know, like, spending the shipping fees like $500 and all these different things. And now you really need to accustom that into your price for selling a shirt, but you're just a beginner, and you can't sell a shirt for $40 to make your money back, really, because who's going to buy a $40 shirt from nobody? From a, you know, not a nobody, but, you know, someone who isn't up there.
Yeah, it would have to be like well thought out and well like
exactly.
Well, I think that
marketed.
perfectly hits on what I rambled on last week was just about, and to plug Iron Belt Gyms kind of thing is like do more and like do something.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I even heard in like a podcast recently. I was listening to a old Joe Rogan one. It was just about like always trying to do something, even if you're not ready, if you don't have the camera, if you don't feel like you know you have the money to go big on a label or a product or whatever it is. You know, at least attempting to do something will get you further, so that when you do get that expensive camera, you built a bigger audience. You're familiar with editing the video.
Yeah.
You know your style. You know these different things. But if you're just sitting on your hands and waiting until that moment and waiting for the perfect time. Oh, when I have this amount of money, I'll start the business. Oh, when I have this set up. You're never going to do anything. And so many people do that. And it's just disappointing to see. And then, it's just like they just sit back and they go, well, they only did that because this, or it must be nice,
and Then they wonder, like, oh, why isn't it happening yet?
Yeah.
But I've been a victim to that. Everybody has.
Yeah,
We all have.
yeah.
You hit that point, and I still, to this day, I probably overlook some things where I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that, or oh, we're not ready for that. When it's like, why don't I just do it, or at least try it? You don't know till you try.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me, even just failing in general, is I'd rather fail like a bunch, because then I know, okay, I can't do this next time. Like I shouldn't do this next time. Instead of me, like I said, sitting on my hands because I don't want to make a mistake, and then I never get anywhere. And whether you fail and go back, reset, like you can always redo it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a huge thing for you now, and I love that you're like already thinking that way. Is like, not saying you don't have a lot of funding now or anything like that, but like in a smaller stage in your company, like you're making the failures now, so they aren't a year from now when you actually got some change in your account. You're dropping a $10,000 order, you're fucking ruining that order, and that order is just shit because you didn't make that failure at
exactly
$500 order and learn from that. Like for example, when Gymflo, we did get a pretty hefty loan when we first started off our main manufacturing of our products. We made a ton of mistakes because it was like free money. We were just like, oh, fuck it, let's do it. We didn't make a bunch of like failures before that to learn not to do some of these things. So, we live and you learn, but hopefully you make those mistakes earlier, or try to make those failures to learn how to navigate through those yeses and nos and fuck that type deals, those decisions.
Well, I got a question for y'all. So how do y'all feel about like, so for me doing it, like at some points, like I felt like, man, maybe muscle mileage isn't good, and like maybe I should like put this to rest, and like, because I feel like there's a certain time in some business endeavors you hear about, like especially like big entrepreneurs. Yeah, like I've started multiple businesses, blah blah, and they fail. Like at what point do you decide that this isn't working? You know what I mean? Like what point do you say, okay, this isn't my niche, like this isn't my thing, like I need to try something else, like, you know what I mean? Like I got in that point and I'm like, man,
I don't know. I think it's different for everyone.
Yeah,
me too.
I think you probably had more thought with this in time because, obviously the gym's somewhat newer, but I mean, the gym's been in planning for like 2-3 years, and it is one thing that I'm bouncing back and forth of like, for all the money and time that goes into it, is it even worth it? And, or, if this doesn't work out, like what's kind of like that plan B? And I mean, I think the biggest thing is, at the end of the day, and we've touched on a little bit in different aspects, is it has to be a passion thing, And like with the gym, fortunately, with the money saved and the way it's going to be kind of funded and handled, is it's not going to be like a major moneymaker. So I don't feel the pressure to sell out in some ways, to slack off in some ways, like, or to just accept anything and everything. I can really make sure the culture is how it should be. That we're not just taking in all soccer moms and taking in this and that. Like, I'm not excluding people,
money.
but I'm not marketing to everyone. It's like my dad mentioned, or like my mom was like, hey, like, Stacy or whoever was like wondering if like y'all would have like yoga class, or she could teach her yoga class, and I'm like, no, because it's like it's not that I'm against that. There's a market for that. We're not that gym.
Exactly. No,
and
that's
it's
important.
And it's like if you cater to everyone in the beginning, you screw up your gym culture. Now people think of us as this, or they think of us as that.
Yep.
And that's the biggest pressure I've had with the place is I want the right impression to people. I want people to come to Iron Mill Gym and see it as like, and feel it and feel the discipline, feel hard work, feel excited, feel the community, feel like the culture that we've already, in my opinion, built here, and what everyone else will be able to kind of tag along and be a part of here. And I think to round it back to where the question was, because I feel like I'm rambling at this point, is like it has to be like something you're passionate about. And I think you'll know, or you'll continue to push towards that company and push towards that goal. And then if it really isn't just working out, I think if you're passionate enough, you'll find a way to make it work. And I think if it really just isn't a thing, then you'll know soon enough that like I just don't know anything about this, or it's not a good business idea.
Going off of that though, is that ever conflicting for you as far as like maybe the yoga class is a little bit extreme, but like to know that that could be customer or like something maybe that would fall into money that you're now missing out on or turning down.
Yeah.
Or like I know that we talked about this the other day, Austin, but like with clients or something like that, if it's outside of a time that you feel like you would normally want to train in or work in, are you, because I used to do that a lot of like, you know, some people would be like, hey, can you have this person? She's at 4:30 in the morning. And I'd be like, you know, I need the money, but like I'm already like staying up until midnight working on schoolwork when I get home from work. And so it's sometimes a conflicting thing. Or like with product, do you ever feel like that to where, you know, you might want to do something that would be an easy like money maker, but it's not really in your vision with what you want the company to be?
For sure. I definitely feel that way. And like the relationship, I guess, from the gym and personal training is like the gym, obviously you in your head have already committed to knowing that you're not in it to make a profit. I mean, obviously you want to break even and like everything be covered, but
It's
like
not the end all
it's
be
not
all.
like going to be your income. So for me, training, that is my income. So it's like I'm going to do for that. In that case, I'm going to do everything I got to do, whether it's less sleep, more energy drinks, double coffee, double Folgers.
Well, I guess my
like
thing
rolling,
is
but
specifically with the gym. I mean, first and foremost, it's you got to have your money straight, and then you can have the luxury that is picking and choosing your jobs and your gigs.
Right.
And so I'm at the point, and I feel like you are in a way with Gymflo to where it's like you don't have to be catered to everyone and everything. So like I can be picky and choosy about who I take because I'd rather have 20 less members and the gym be what I want versus it turn into something that I'm not even excited about, that I come here and I'm like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And I hate that. And then, you know, you just don't want to, like you said, like, you know, if training that person at 4 a.m. might get you an extra $80, $100 a week, but you hate it, you're hating every Monday morning, it's just not worth it. You want to do something you're excited about, and then all that time and money you put into, like I put into this gym, if it turns into something that I'm not excited to lift here, then it's just wasted. You know?
I will say it's better knowing that, like, for me at least in my scenario, everything I have is under one roof. So like my office is right down the hallway from the gym. So when I'm training people here that early, I mean, I am technically where I'm going to be anyways that day. So, I mean, it still is draining some days where you're here for 12 or 13, 14 hours. But
we've had this.
Now that you got the shelves up, perfect room for an air mattress.
That's right.
This G Fuel's got me rolling. I don't know about y'all.
No, I feel
I'm like halfway in, and I'm
2/3.
Let's go.
I feel like I need to do some deadlifts.
Fired up.
But yeah, I wanted to chime in on what you thought about like failure and like when to call it quits type thing. There's plenty of times where I definitely thought to myself, it's time to like go ahead and just sell everything off and just get out of debt, blah, blah, blah. But if it's all you think about, it's passion, it's all you think about all the time. Like it's always on your mind. You're excited to try and do what's next, even though the cards are against you type of dealing, but you're excited to take that next step and figure out how to get out of it type deal. I think it's meant to be. But at the end of the day, though, it needs to have some type of return. So if it's at least not paying for itself, or you like that line, that neutral line, it at least needs to be tilted up a little bit, like ever so slightly, as long as it's tilted up, or at least breaking even. I mean, at least you got a good hobby, but like it needs to be at least tilted up for it to be like worthy, I guess, in my mind. But if it's if it's something that you're negatively thinking about, like you're like, man, fuck this, blah blah blah, don't want to get up, don't want to move, but like, as long as you have that little spark every now and then that's like, man, I'm excited to take that next move to see how I can get out of this scenario or see how we can level up next week or next month, whatever. I don't know. I think it's meant to be, and hopefully you continue pushing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the break-even line is really, honestly, I don't want to say for me what should matter the most, but, I mean, you think about it. Like, if all of us wanted to play in the NBA, right, you can be passionate about wanting to play in the NBA, but the chances of us playing the NBA ever are not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, sometimes I look at it that way. I'm like, some people get delusional. Think about all the people, like, let's say, move to California. And are like, man, like, I know I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be an actor or whatever. And now you see him, like, under the bridge, like, on heroin. You know what I'm saying?
That's a mindset.
There's a lot of people that,
they expect they're going to make millions. Yeah. But you got to expect a normal life.
Not everyone's meant to be,
exactly.
a millionaire. Not everyone's meant to be a small business
year is cool, too.
You know, the reason I didn't say anything about the gym so long was because I don't want to be the guy, And we all know a shit ton of them over the years that are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, I've always wanted to open a gym, or I'm gonna open up a gym, or me and my boys are thinking about opening up a gym. 3 years later, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And it's like, I just wanted to be about it before I talked about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing, like, people do, is it's so easy now with Instagram to, like, to start a business, start a company. And I think that provides a lot of opportunity because it really allows people to be more creative and more businesses to boom and grow.
Yeah.
But you do have a lot of this kind of false sense of reality that you're kind of talking about, where people think, if I build it, they'll come. If I start this business, people are gonna buy it.
Well,
but it's
I feel like arguing that is like, so for me doing a show last year, like if I didn't put it on Instagram, I ain't gonna lie, like that made me work like a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? So like it was kind of like, man, if I don't get this, like people are expecting me to win, and I'm like, if I don't go do all my 30, 45, however long cardio I'm doing. Like, well, not only am I cheating myself, and that's what like, I had to come down to is like it's for myself.
And deep down, that was the inner passion that really drove you. I'm sure Instagram was a little bit of pressure, but you wouldn't. I mean,
you kind of need that social contract with people to where it's like you say, I'm not gonna have any more diet or sweets. I'm doing the show. Like the big one for a lot of people is saying they're gonna do a show. I knew for me it was big. I say I'm doing this OCB show, whatever. This is the date. And I know that if I show up looking like a Teletubby, people are gonna laugh at me. And that was my biggest thing. Is I was like, people are probably thinking, he doesn't have a coach. He's just whatever. That he's gonna look like shit or whatever. And that was my biggest motivation. Was I'm doing this so the people that are like waiting for me to look stupid on stage, like I can just look at them and watch their face, droop. That's what I want. So.
Yeah.
And I think too, going off what you said, Miles, like I think that you already have to be that kind of person, and then posting about it will just kind of solidify that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because how many times have you seen like people post day one of like, gonna do this, and it's like they want that kind of praise or reward for what they're going to do, but they haven't done it yet.
Well, I feel like that's just most of Instagram in general. Like because it's just cool right now to be, whether it's a fitness influencer, and
or throw up entrepreneur in your bio or CEO.
I mean, you can easily build hype around that, and like then you're chasing that hype because like, I mean, unless you're doing action and like actually creating something, like it's always like a never-ending like chase for that adrenaline shot of like, then what should I post next to get some more hype, and it goes for everybody, like a ton of people. Well, not no one in particularly, but. I mean, there are some that do it more than others. But.
So do y'all believe in like manifestation, like speaking to existence? Like
no,
I do
with work.
I think
with action.
Yeah, I think. Well, of course, it's got to have action. But I think visualizing something and speaking it into existence is very real. And the fact that not just saying the words will get you there, but I think saying the words get your mind on it, reminds you of it, motivates you to do it, and that leads to action, and that leads to actually getting things done. I think a big thing is just taking those, people have a big goal and they don't, you touched on it really early, it was about making a plan, because I think people just don't have a plan. And it doesn't have to be A to B. It can be A to B to C to D and, so forth until you get to G, F, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be overnight. It's very small steps. It's saving up and then, tackling the things. I mean, the gym was so many steps that, I had a lot of things. The equipment's easy to buy and find, relatively. Like, as far as, like, stroking the check, doing whatever, saving the money, it's just a time thing or money thing. But as far as, getting your legal documents in place, little things, and there's so many steps that you don't even know about with the gym, as far as like, an AED. Like, we had so many stupid issues with getting an AED, and then getting, checked in with like the Department of Agriculture is what deals with Virginia health clubs. And then, little things you don't think you have to buy, as far as like trash cans and spick and span, or like decals, or all these little things that you expect, but then you don't expect it to be this expensive or this or that. There's so many unexpected things that come up. So
I think that there's merit to like speaking something into existence, but I almost think that you have to be slightly obsessive with it, or like create at least like a dichotomy in your head of like decisions that you make throughout the day. Are they going to take you closer or further away from whatever you speak into existence? Because like I could say, oh yeah, well, I'm going to do a show next year, or like I'm going to do this, or get to 200, or like do this and that, but that tapers down over time. Even we had like a little competition amongst ourselves initially to kind of get ready for opening day, and that kind of petered out. About 3 or 4 weeks in, we all started doing our own program again. And like, I think with certain things, like we can always say that we're going to do something, and I just think that sometimes you almost have to like tip the scale a little bit more into like being obsessive and visualizing it, writing it down, breaking it down into goals and like sub goals and other things like that to kind of focus on it more versus just saying, I'm going to do this, and then
just being an idea.
Figuring out the next thing you're going to do. Because I don't know about y'all, but I kind of ride the wave sometimes of like, I get very hooked on something, and then like a month later, it's like something slightly different. Or like me and Brock had gotten into like shooting, and then that went away. And like
mostly because of expensive bullets,
like camping or like cooking or playing guitar, and like I'm obsessive about that for like 3-4 weeks, and then kind of become indifferent to it and find something else and maybe return to it at some point down the line. But I think a lot of times, like, I don't know, you can get kind of, whenever you initially get interested in something, or maybe like whether it be YouTube or a show or something like that, you have an idea of like, that would be awesome, and then as soon as you kind of taste a little bit of difficulty, it's like, not so awesome.
And that's how you realize like that's maybe like that's something that is a hobby and not something you should pursue. For most, I mean, like intently as like a lifelong career, whatever. But when I mentioned I don't agree or believe in speaking into existence, I guess I abruptly like didn't think that through. I do believe in you are what you think. Like if you're thinking about it, like if I'm thinking about work all day, I'm gonna be a lot more productive if I'm thinking about chasing pussy or other shit throughout the day. I mean, I'm gonna get sidetracked and I'm not gonna get shit done, and I'm never. It doesn't matter what you speak about; it's what you think about. It's where your thoughts are.
Yeah, and I think you said it earlier too. It's like, and like he kind of said, is if you're not really passionate about it, it's like what is that deep rooted reason why you say you want to do it? You know what I mean? And I feel like if there's something that you really want to do, then it's not going to fade out, like it's just an idea. You might have accidentally been subconsciously attracted to it from Instagram or seen someone that you look up to do it or something like that. And I think that's like what happens with a lot of people. Even like for competing for me, I'm going to compete next year, but I don't like competing at all.
Me neither.
I literally like, I think it's terrible. I like the sport. I like watching it and stuff, but like, I don't ever think that it's worth it to get on there and judge myself against other people because, I mean, you can look the best one here, but you go somewhere else, you're not going to look the best. And then not only that, but once you get to a pro level, like, they all look the same. It's like, really, who do I like more as a person?
Yeah.
And so, like, but I do it because, honestly, one, it's good marketing. And two, it kind of, like, also makes me, it works on my, like self-control and like dedication, like part of it. But other than that, I hate it. Like it's the stupidest thing.
You and me both probably feel the same way about it because I don't like the actual stage competition part.
Yeah.
But the discipline of pushing yourself every day for that 14, 16, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that's what I do enjoy because you really dial yourself in. Like you get like tunnel vision. You feel intent about every day, making sure you're eating the right amount of calories, doing the right amount of cardio, training, whatever.
Yeah.
Back when I did that show, I remember I was like, man, I need to do more transformation challenges like I did, or like more like goals like that physically.
Yeah.
Because it did dial my mindset because everything else on the other end was like dialed in that I sort of transferred over into other aspects of my life,
Yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah, I thought about getting a coach actually because, like I said, like for me right now, I suck at bulking. Like I hate, like I don't want to eat. I don't feel like eating.
You could be like an easy 200. Like how heavy are you now?
I don't know.
180.
I'm just kidding.
Got a scale over there.
Oh yeah, we do.
I'm probably literally like anywhere from 215 to 220.
Man, I feel like you could easily just be like 230, 240.
230.
No, I should, but that's the thing. Like I said, I don't like eating, and at the end of the day, like going back to like the passion thing is like I'm not egotistical to the point where I feel like I need to look like the biggest one here. And I feel like when it really comes down to it, that's what it gets to. Because, like, at the end of the day, what's the real point of me being unhealthy, like, big? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I need to, whether it's get on steroids or SARMs or whatever, and be this big to just walk around or, like, do that? And I don't care about that. Like, it don't matter when it comes to girls. Some girls think it's nasty. It doesn't save you money. Like, there's no real benefit to it besides, like, ego, you know?
Yeah,
I
agree.
will say though, not necessarily related to competing, but I've been thinking a lot lately of, I've been listening to this, like, there's this golden era, like, podcast, and it's kind of a bizarre feeling to me to sometimes listen to these interviews with these people, or as more and more people from that era are passing away, like they do tribute, podcasts about them, but it is so weird to hear some of these guys talk and be like, you blink and they're like 70 now. And these are like kind of the greats of bodybuilding back then. And it's weird to just think that like, that time has passed for them now, but like they made a name for themselves or kind of like live vicariously seizing on that potential and passion back then. And it makes me think about like, I'm 25 now, but I already feel like, I was just in high school a couple years ago and already 7 years have passed. So like eventually I'm going to be, 70 and be like, where did it all go? So I want to make sure I'm taking advantage of every day. And that might not necessarily be like crazy dieting or this or that, but at least like giving my all into what I'm doing during the day.
Living passion.
Because you can always be living in the future of like, okay, well, we just dropped this product and like, what's the next one on the horizon? But I think that like, just making sure every day, because really, you live in the day-to-day. Like you can visualize a year from now or this or that, or think back on mistakes you made or maybe money-related stuff. But really, like, how can you kind of take advantage of every day and enjoy every day as well? Kind of be passionate about that and give your all into what you're doing, too.
No, I agree.
So we definitely veered off a little bit. Getting back to, like, muscle mileage and some of your goals that you have, not only for that, but for yourself. I guess you were talking about, I guess, keeping things smaller structure-wise for now, focusing on the community that you already have, creating things that they would want, and obviously that you would want.
Yeah.
But, like, moving forward, do you have things of, like, I guess how to scale that? Or, like, and do you have any, I guess, strategies that you have in plan or anything you'd like to talk about?
I want to add on to that question, which is basically, like, it's kind of similar to what I think you were asking. Is like, what do you feel like you were doing before that you're changing, and what are you doing now? Like, you know what I mean?
I was shooting in the dark. Just, like, honestly, like I said, I'm not one thing that I like respect about you, Brock, and I'm sure you guys do it too, but like honestly, like it's noticeable from even just listening to the podcast and stuff is like you're very well calculated, and so like I'm not very well calculated. Like I'm the exact opposite, you know. Like I want to do something. I think we talked about this last time. Like if there's something I want to do, I'm not gonna think about how I should do it. I'm just going to go do it. I didn't look and see about the podcast setup when I bought a $300 setup. I just bought it because I was like, I want to do it. And then I find out that it doesment work. So I think like my only like strategies is like, not only, but like I'm planning I want to plan like 3 launches from now, like so instead of me just saying, okay, I'm going to worry about this, like I wanted to get that done first. And, like, I'm already working on the other ones. So when that time comes around, I'm not just like, all right, here. Like, because I messed up. I did a gray crop, and I didn't even have them in. When the corona actually hit, but I ordered them from China, and they literally pushed it back and back. And I already set a release date. I already did this and that and that. And, like, obviously, it pushes so far back. And I did a pre-order on it, and it just went bad. And I felt like I learned that I have to care about the small things. That's not who I am as a person, but if I don't care about the small things, one is going to dampen my brand and who I am, because then it shows like, oh, like what's going on here.
You didn't have a shit together.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing that like I'm focused on now. Like I said, I have a to-do list. I have what my goal is. I literally have like mission statement. Like I have everything, and I kind of look at that like every day. Like I focus on like the tiniest things, to be calculated, because I'm not calculated. Like,
yeah, I have a tough time too, but which I'm grateful, like you said, to be around Brock that is very like planned out, organized for the most part, and it's been definitely rubbing off and or forcing it off onto me, which is needed. I'm stubborn as shit, and I can be set in my own ways on some things, and I realize how much things have changed just by writing a few goals down per month. It does change your mindset.
And I think it's different too. And I know we've talked about this, but like you've been kind of, going by the seat of your pants and being on your own for so long that it's probably a different feeling, but also good in a way too to have, you know, someone nearby all the time that wants the best for you and is also like going to kind of make you uncomfortable or push you in the right direction and do things that you weren't doing before.
Well, it's kind of like I haven't mentioned this, but it's funny. The other day when we were talking about, you know, future products, we're comparing different, like we're looking at, you know, different brands and things like that and brainstorming for the future. And Maddie overheard us talking, and she was like, you know, you keep saying like our brand like it's your company, and you know, Austin may not like that. And I was like, he knows that, you know, we all know it's his company, but I was trying to explain to him that it's like he knows that I'm just using it as a term of one. I feel super involved and feel like I'm a part of the company, whether there's legal ownership or not.
And I do the same with the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when I'm talking to clients,
and two,
the gym.
Yeah, and
gym.
I think it's just about knowing that we each want the best for each other, and that, you know, we do feel comfortable enough to give our honest opinion. Because if I am like holding back because I'm or you're very standoffish or defensive over the brand and not allowing any kind of other thoughts, I think, you know, it just doesn't allow for growth. It doesn't allow for creativity.
I think that's so important too, because even just like, because I was doing before COVID the monthly like meetups for like the team and stuff, and I'd say our things because you like obviously he's done a good job, because if you feel so involved that you can say our, like he's doing his job as making it something to like, yeah, exactly. And I think that's like good. I think it's important because I know for me personally, my brother, he's the more calculated person. I go to him and I'll say, yeah, I want to do this, and he'll be like, you should probably do this first. And I'm like, I did not think of that. And so I think what you guys have, and I listened to the last podcast and stuff, so you guys kind of talked about it, but to be able to give honest, blunt opinions, and not only that, bring different things to the table, because like I told my brother, you know, like I feel like I'm the visionary and he's the person to like kind of clean up that like just paint on the wall, you know? And so I think, I'm sure like, because Griffin, I know you, but I don't know you that well to know, but I can just tell from like, you know, listening, and I know him a little bit more of what exactly, like I said, like I'm sure you guys all bring something different to the table. And you said it last podcast about the you know, you are good at editing, he's good at filming, and you know, so like I said, I think it's
our own
exactly
process,
and I think it's so great that like you guys can do that. I think it's important.
And I think too, I'm sure you have this within Muscle Mileage too, Miles, but like one thing that I'm very grateful for between us is like I've known Austin for a few years, and through ups and through downs, and I've known Brock for a little bit less time, but through some fairly ups and downs as far as just the journey of building the gym. But I think it's such a great feeling to know that like you have a strong group around you, to where like my ultimate goal, like I don't want to use Austin to like boost myself, if that makes sense. Like my ultimate goal is to like help Austin grow to the point that he wants to do, whatever that may be. And same with Brock, like, you know, we all can work within each other to like grow the different things that we want to do, but it's not like, you know, I'm gonna try to like take advantage of
like a
you,
parasitical
to be able to like put myself to a higher level.
I thought it was an
makes
engagement
sense.
group right here.
It's funny because me and Renzo, you know, we work together, and I say this to him all the time, like we use each other, but it's not like the, you know, the term when you say use, you think of it negatively, but like we use each other and we push each other to get like, you know, I think of things that he can do to help, you know, grow his brand, and he does the same for me. And I think the biggest part that I can tell, like I said, with you three guys is the like being sincere and being genuine to each other. And a lot of times you try to do that, and you have people that you might let in or whatever, and they're not really genuine. They have you know, ill intentions behind, not maybe even ill, but just it's for themselves. And I think you can tell, like I said, with you guys, and that's why I'm so selective with who I really surround myself with, like on a day-to-day basis, because people most of the times, 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, have those, if I'm cool with Brock, I can work out at a gym for free. Or if I'm cool with Austin, you know, or even
about that
free
before.
supplements, you know.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Whereas I was telling Austin, I was like, I hope some of these like old kids that I knew from high school will come in here and like they're like, oh, I'm excited to lift, and I'm
Brock.
like,
You finally made it.
and they
Awesome,
like come
brother.
up, give me a hug, and they're like, you know, I'm like, oh, so you gonna pay the day pass? And like, oh.
But it's gonna
Like,
happen. You know,
I was
same
like,
thing with you too.
Oh, this is a business, right?
Have you noticed at all, not to like turn it more as negative, but like when you first started your thing, that maybe people were like indifferent or talking down, but then once you started to pick up more or get more notoriety, like people pretended to be more of your friend, or like they always knew you or anything like that?
I feel like not with like muscle mileage, but I feel at one point, especially where I can just think at the top of my head, like a long time ago, I used to work out with a lot of different people, and like I would take a selfie, and I don't know why I only got 5,000 followers, probably like 3,000 at that time, but like they wanted to work out with me to be on my story, and like they would literally be like, yeah, I can't wait to take the picture with you, and I'm just like, it would rub me the wrong way, because even though like I don't really have like a a million follower account, I just always felt like I could just tell the difference off of the jump of why they wanted to work out with me, because they would say things like, oh yeah, like I know you're all like Instagram fan. I don't know, but like people would just say those weird comments.
Which you tagged me in the last one, though.
Yeah. Are we gonna take the selfie? Are we gonna take the selfie?
You know
I'm
what
like,
I hate
no.
to see is one thing I'll quickly say is like I have a very good memory, so people that have wronged me or are been ignorant in the past, I don't forget. I remember.
Yeah.
And then two is I feel like I noticed that to an extreme with this guy, because people in the past have probably wanted to work out with him strictly just to get him to film them or take photos.
Exactly.
Of them for
No.
free. And it's abuse.
I hate that.
You work out. Hey, you're bringing your camera, right?
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, it happens to Renzo, and Renzo's such a nice guy. I have to literally be like, hey, I'm sorry to let you know this, but they want you to take pictures of them. Like, and that's the thing. Even like that, I love the relationship that I have with Renzo is because, he just became a full-time, and we were working together, and I'm like, yo, I have my own camera. Like, you need to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you to come take pictures of me when I know that I'm not in a financial position to pay for it right now, and I don't, this is your business. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, hey man, I know you have shoots to do today, but can you take pictures of me? And so like, I think at the same time, like I said, with you three guys, I'm sure you have that own, whether you're working together or not, like, respect for each other.
There's a threshold, yeah. Like, there's sometimes we'll ask Griffin, hey, do you mind taking a few photos real quick? But if I know that I'm taking, like, he's got a busy day, he's got things on his plate, or I'm doing it constantly, then I need to give him some financial compensation for that work, because we don't want to abuse each other, but at the same time, like, like you mentioned before, we all kind of contribute to each other in non-financial ways that it almost kind of, we don't need to constantly be paying each other for every service that we have.
You know the difference between taking advantage or not. Like I said, if I personally
know the difference.
If I needed Renzo to come take a picture for me, he would do it, and I would ask him. But I don't need him to come take a picture of me when he's got other shoots, he's got to edit, do all these things.
That's just abusing a friendship.
It'd be selfish of me to be like, man, like we used to take pictures every day or every this day or whatever, and now you can't. Like, that would be just very selfish of me. And so I think, like I said, you three guys, I mean, it might just be the chemistry on the podcast, but obviously you guys are working together tightly. Right.
It's all the same.
Very tight.
Right. Very tight. But you guys, like I said, you bring different things to the table, and I think that's like healthy, and you guys use each other, but it's not the negatively like term used. Like, you guys use each other because at the end of the day, do you want to be friends with a loser? I mean, really, because they're going to...
Well, I like what you said about, keeping your circle small, because I think that's one thing that people are afraid to do, because you don't want to hurt feelings, or, everyone wants to be, like, widely, not necessarily loved, but, widely liked, or in a positive mind. But I think, one thing that you have to realize, especially if you want to be successful or do something special, is... you have to be okay not being liked by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to choose your battles and choose your fights. And it doesn't mean be a dick to everyone, but it just means you can't just allow these fake people or these people that hop on, a certain opportunity and, like you said, like, use you. You can't allow people to use you like that, because they're just draining from your energy, your time, your day, whatever it is. So.
Yeah. And I think even just with the gym and even muscle mileage and even Gymflo and stuff, or even just training or the work you do, is I think there's nothing wrong with being like, because when I first made the tapered shirt, and they're like, well, fat people can't wear this. Well, I'm like, sorry, this isn't for fat people.
That's what it is,
Like, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but like, if you want to wear this shirt and buy it, lose weight. Like, and it's not any disrespect. It's just
hang it up and use those.
You can't cater to everyone.
You can't cater to everyone, and the more you try to cater to everyone, like, I actually learned that like with my page in general. Like, I was skinny and I put on muscle. I wasn't fat and lost weight. So for me to try to be so widely like, hey, and not really say, hey, skinny people, this is how you gain weight. It kind of takes away from people passionately like gearing towards you. The same thing with the gym and building that culture is if you go for everyone, it's just going to be a for everyone thing.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't hate Olympic lifters, but we don't. That's not really what. I mean, you can try and do it here, but the platforms aren't really the right size for that.
Exactly.
Powerlifting, yeah, you can kind of do it, but we're not a powerlifting gym. We don't have every little thing that maybe like the weight room or something else does. So you just got to know that up front. Yeah.
Did we have any questions? Because I have some questions.
I did not.
For Miles. Okay. So I'll try to just pick some of the best. From
Hand sweating.
You're on the hot seat now.
I don't know if I'm shaking from the energy drink or
hot seat.
Okay. Where were you on the night of?
Fuck. This is
I don't remember what I did last night. So.
I was gonna ask. Okay, first one is. You go to Alpha Lead a lot.
Yeah.
Is that more so like a motivation booster, like the Arnold is, or is that more of like a business trip, or is that just kind of?
I say it's both. Like we talked about it last time. Going there honestly is obviously really motivating. Even just seeing. So it's funny because I dropped a yellow shirt and a black crop, and I rushed it honestly because after the show, I was like I wasn't really messing with muscle mileage, and at that point I was spending like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I don't even know how much I spent on just Alpha Elite clothing. And I remember seeing this kid walk in with a Dark Sport hoodie on, and I was like, "Dang, like that brand's like out here, because it was kind of like I don't know if it was new.
Is Dark Sport?
It's really a competition kind of.
The only one I know who wears it is I saw like a Raj Rabar recently wear it, some bodybuilder.
It's really like a bodybuilding kind of like. But anyways, I was like, it just I don't know something sparked, and I was like, man, like I need to do this. Or even like when I go to California and I see whether it's go to Bradley Martin's gym or the Mecca or whatever, it kind of just like I need to work harder because one thing my dad's always told me, like when I was playing basketball and I was supposed to go to college, like he was like, Miles, like you're good here, but there's millions of other kids that are working hard and that are better than you. Like you can't just kind of chill and know you're good here. And so going to these places kind of like is like a reminder for me.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's a good networking thing for me because whether I go up to them and speak to them, or it's just a familiar face to the point where Instagram now you can just go find them, search the gym, and So I think business, marketing, and motivation all at the same time.
And that is interesting that you mentioned that because I do feel like when I've gone to the Arnold in the past, and especially like first getting into lifting, like as a motivational tool or something, you kind of become like you have your place in Richmond and you have your place like in the kind of fitness community here, but there's like something somewhat humbling about going somewhere else like that and seeing like, oh, there's like all sorts of other communities around the country that are like bigger, smaller as far as people go, but it's also like you feel like, oh, like I still like feel like I can like fit in here too almost. Like it's a weird like makes you feel smaller but also like more important in a sense too. It's a weird feeling.
One thing I want to touch on while you look up the questions. One thing that not to hop on like my gym, but comparing it to like Christian right now is building something so insane, right, with like Alpha Land. And it's funny like seeing like as we were doing some constructive things, I was kind of looking back at his old videos, right, when he first had his little spot and everything, and it just really, I think going to places like Alpha Lead and eventually Alpha Land is it kind of really just shows you like to an extreme, but what is really possible? Like, does this mean, okay, I'm also opening up a gym at 20. Does that mean I'm going to have Alpha Land in 4 or 5 years? No. But it means that like there are next steps and that things are possible for you. If you take the right steps, you put in the work, and that, I think Christian's a good example of someone who hasn't set his expectations low. He's really set them to the stars and beyond, and continue to work for more and realize, like you said, that there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of business owners. There's a lot of gym owners. But what are you going to do to make yourself, extra special?
Yeah.
And that is really interesting, too, to think about, too, that, like, someone would have a persona that, like, you gravitate towards so much that you would book a plane ticket to Texas or California or something like that just to go, like, be in that presence and that kind of mindset, too.
Yeah, it's weird, though, because even, like, you look at, like, Christian, I'm sure, have you met him in person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, he's not anything, no disrespect to him, because, like I said, I look up to him, but he's nothing special. And that motivates me even more because, you see like a Bradley Martin. Bradley Martin's huge, jacked, whatever.
Strong.
He does viral stuff. So you like, you gravitate that because it's cool. Like it's eye-catching. But someone like Christian, he gets lean and stuff, but literally all of us are bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think the special thing with him is like
my calves might be bigger than his and Max combined.
No, definitely Max.
He has his head down, and it goes back to not being friends with everyone. I think one thing even that he said for himself, but he's an introvert, and he puts his head down and he works, and he doesn't have to be at the club every weekend or hang out with all his friends. He's okay with, this is my goal. I'm doing this, and I'm going to focus on this and do it. And like I said, I think it's inspiring. Like when I drive to Richmond, or when I was driving to Richmond, I see a big building. In my head, I look at the buildings, I'm like, another man created that. He owns this $1 million company. Like, maybe that's not something I want to do, but I just believe like that. Everyone.
Christian is like super relatable too, because he is almost all of our age.
And we've visually seen it.
The transformation,
Well, and that's the cool thing. Even just with the shirts, is like, and back to the camera thing. I went back to his first video, and he has a flip camcorder, and you don't see that when you go to it. And I think one thing, even just with Instagram, you follow your favorite bodybuilders or whatever thing you're into, and you see how they're doing it, and you're like, man, I have to do it that way. And it doesn't work for you because you didn't see when Christian had the little little basically box to open his gym and training, or where he had where he had the basic T-shirts with CG Guzman on or whatever, fitness. And like, I think it's way more relatable and attractive to see that, because like he did start with just his flip camera. He did just start with these T-shirts, and I think seeing like, he did just start with a small box, and now he is, at Alpha Land.
It makes me feel like I don't film enough, I mean, I've documented a little bit of the gym as much as I could, but I wish I filmed years ago, and just talked about it or this or that, or filmed even more details of what's going on here, but...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of a random question, but since you are well known kind of within the Richmond fitness scene, do you feel like you consider yourself to be an influencer, or do you kind of want to separate yourself from that term, or like the personality around
that's
that?
a funny one, because I feel like technically, I mean, I'm sure we all are influencers in a way, like individually, because if that shirt or hat or whatever like looks sweet or cool to me, like it's influenced me to buy that. And I don't really want to classify myself as an influencer though. Like it's funny because I feel like everyone nowadays, if you have X amount of followers, you're cool. Like you think you're cool.
It becomes like a currency or something.
Yeah, and I mean people live to it too. People like say, "Oh, he's cool." If you see someone with 3,000 followers, you're less inclined to follow him if he had 10,000 followers, right? But I personally feel, for me, when I first started it, I started to share my fitness journey to help other people. It actually it started out as a training thing. Like it wasn't I want to show myself off, and then it kind of just evolved. But I don't know. I don't say I'm an influencer. I want to have money at the end of the day. That's not my goal. Like the fitness thing is part of my life, and so I said last time, if I never made a dollar, dime, whatever, I would still do it. Because I love doing it, and sharing that is important to me. But I guess technically, you could say I'm influencer. I don't say I'm a fitness influencer.
Yeah. I was just curious, just because, as we kind of grow within the community, or get to know people that maybe blow up or something like that, as far as on Instagram or with the company or something like that, it's an interesting culture that develops almost.
Yeah, it's annoying actually. I hate it because. It's like, we're in here to get better, right? I'm in the gym to get better. Why are you sizing me up or anything, period, first of all? Because you have more followers than me doesn't make you any better. I didn't make this page to get, more followers. I made this page to share and help, you know?
Yeah.
And so I feel like at the end of the day, with me wanting to get better, I don't compare myself or put myself in that, position, because I wasn't here to be bigger than any of you. I was there to help someone that needed help and to show how I did it. You know, like this is how I do it. One of the things that I feel like a lot of people liked about me at the beginning was I posted me eating cookout. You know, like I'm not going to show you that I eat all chicken and rice all day because I don't. And if you don't want that, then don't follow me. But so, you know, I feel like at the end of the day, I don't put myself in that position because I'm not here to necessarily be an influencer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like that's a big part of current gym culture at Gold's Gyms that I've been to, and why I kind of like didn't go to gym or Gold's Gym for a while was I feel like there is so much of an ego, and sometimes it is directly related to, like you mentioned earlier, with like steroid use and being the biggest guy in the gym or being the strongest guy in the gym.
Yeah, I mean,
and some of these people will walk in with almost like their little entourage, and they'll set up and take up like a large space at the gym, like a corner or squat rack, and you just feel like they're just look at me, or something like that. And I feel like a lot of culture right now is based off that whole kind of influencer thing, or look at how many times I got tags or comments on my post or something, or oh, look at me, I'm at the gym, or I'm eating clean food. And it's a lot of show, it's a lot of look at me rather than just putting head down, like you said, which actually gets you somewhere.
That's the thing, because like I used to work out with a bunch of people, because at the end of the day I was not only like did I want to, but like it was marketing as well, because at the end of the day I want to make this a full-time business for me. I would be lying if I said I didn't. But especially after COVID, I wasn't really feeling my workouts. I wasn't feeling like I was really doing what I needed to do in the gym. And when I'm in the gym, I like talking. I'll talk to you all day. But I'm in the gym for a reason. I didn't join the gym to hang out with friends. If I wanted to do that, I'd be, I don't know, in a social group or something. And so, like, people have even just recently asked to work out. And it's not that I don't want to work out with them, but I have to get where I need to be. I'm in this gym for a reason. And so I just, like I said, I just separate myself from it. I try to, because like at the end of the day, it's ego. It's cool to work out with a bunch of people or whatever. And I don't know. It's just not for me. Like I'm in there to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. This is technically a question for Miles, but I feel like it can apply to all three of you guys. Do you ever feel offended or not supported when people are friends with you and like your posts, but don't support your brand or buy products?
You mind if I kick this one off?
Kick it off,
Yeah.
man.
All right. Just because I've talked about it recently with like Maddie and stuff. Because I do too, man. I'm trying to hold it, bro. We're getting right back to our
baby.
G-Fuel.
How can someone be a gamer and have to pee?
I know. All right,
Multiple
but
times
anyway.
an hour.
So my thing with this, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. Is like, I don't expect or require at all friends or family to like buy or support my business, because at the end of the day, two things. One, that's a lot of pressure to put on someone and kind of force them financially to support you or be upset with them if they don't.
Yeah.
Another thing is, one, if you think you're gonna like have a successful business just based off your friends and family buying, you're already screwed
Stop,
at that
yeah.
point. Like,
Stop there.
are you really gonna like survive just off them supporting?
Yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed is like there's some people that have been super on board, whether they've been super close with me, I've known them for years, or whether they're super recent, they're just an Instagram follower.
Yeah.
I've had some people that have been so supportive, have come and check out the gym, pay a day pass, whatever it is, and I appreciate that so much. And then there's other people that I've known for years that have, either said congrats and said zip, zero, nada since that picture or something, or that, live like 5-10 minutes away, but probably won't come to the gym. And that's just something that you have to understand as a small business owner, is that you can't expect and certainly can't require all your friends or family or acquaintances to just automatically support, especially financially support your business. You just got to, accept the reality that, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think too, if it goes back to influence, honestly. If you don't want to join my gym, I can't be mad at you. Like I'm just not attracted to. You're just not attracted to my business or whatever the case may be. And I think it comes back to, like, let's say I'm like, Griffin, here's an energy drink, and then if you don't give me an energy drink back, I'm mad at you. Like if you're doing things that way, then you're gonna fail anyways, and you're gonna be disappointed most of the time. And so I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it bothers me, especially when it's close friends and family, because at the end of the day, if we're thinking about, let's just say, Instagram, it doesn't hurt to literally double tap. You're gonna if you scroll past it. And if you don't, it's not a big deal. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah.
But to know what it does and everyone knows it's modern, like to know what it does to help someone and then they don't do it is kind of just like, in a way, it's like a slap in the face to me.
Yeah.
But it's weird to me when like someone will want to like shout me out, and then next thing you know, like 2 seconds later, they started something. So they're basically like, hey, they don't say it, but like I just shouted you out, like. You got me next, right?
Where we at?
So I mean, other than that, it doesn't really bother me.
Because it doesn't. You might have said this while I was gone, but it almost like when they do things like that, it's like it doesn't come from a good place. It comes from like, here, I did you one favor.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm expecting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're expecting it back, and it's just you can't do that to people. It's just not good business.
And not only that, but it goes back to the culture or the supplements or even training or videography.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just attracting anything and everyone, then it's not going to be special. It's not going to be different. It's just going to be another brand. It's just going to be another thing. And so, like I said, even with this, like, most people might not like it. When I came out with yellow shirts, like, some people don't like yellow or don't want to wear yellow. But at the end of the day, if you don't like that, that's fine. I can't be mad at you.
Yeah.
Like, because you like what you like. You're going to double tap on the pictures you like. And if you didn't like mine, if you're hating on it, then I mean, I don't really want that around anyways. And if you don't like it, then I don't really want you to fill up my space of people that will like it.
Yeah.
True.
So
I guess I chip into it a little bit about this topic. With product at the end of the day, or with apparel, the gym, I think it all revolves back around. It did take me, a while when we first started Gymflo, really cranking out some products and a lot of money into our products. Like, man, why aren't these people buying it? We're local. Why would they buy this brand or that brand, whatever? But at the end of the day, you got to just be doing it for you.
Yeah.
And if you aren't doing it for you, you'll realize it. Like, you're always like, man, why are they doing this? Why is that person doing that? At the end of the day, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be like deep down what you want to do.
Yeah.
And fuck, if you don't support, you don't support. You might not like this one, you like the next one, whatever. But you can't expect everybody to love your shit.
Yeah.
And you've got to love it. That's it.
And I think what you how you represent it is important too, because you guys know the rapper Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah.
Like, he was selling $100 mixtapes. Like, you could get it free online, but he was selling $100 mixtapes, and people were buying them. And I think I look at things like Gucci or all those big brands. If you've ever bought a T-shirt from there, it's like a Hanes T-shirt with just Gucci pressed on it or whatever brand it is. And they sell it for $500, $300 for a T-shirt. Like, it's nothing special. You put that thing in the dryer, it's done for. And so I think too, it sucks because at the end of the day, when you look at someone with, like, say on Instagram with X amount of followers, over 10,000, or Ghost, people just like what's popular. It's like you can be upset about it, but at the end of the day, you can either play into it or continue to do what you do and stay true to yourself. And I think that's the thing with me is like I said, I have 5,000 followers. I'm not saying that's a lot or it's not a lot, but people, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but people tell me that, like, oh, you're Instagram famous. And I'm like, I have 5,000 followers. Like, there's like 20, 30 people in Richmond that have more than me. Like, I'm not Instagram famous. It's how I carry myself, know?
You're you. That's why you, even though you only have 5,000 followers, a lot of people know you because you are real. You're you. You aren't trying to be somebody else. You aren't trying to copy or be a cover band, other things.
Yeah.
It's like you're you. You know what you want to do. You do you. So it shows, and I think that's why, even though you have a quote unquote smaller following, like you gravitate people towards you.
And then one more. So when we were doing the party in the gyms at Laburnum, this is something that Ryan Coles and I talked about at the last one. But unfortunately, as time goes on, like, divides or cliques kind of form within the fitness community around here. And when you first start lifting, it's always great to, like, meet people and connect with those people who have the same passion. But sometimes, like, ego or other things interfere and make people put up walls, especially, like, if you know people that like your Instagram photos, but almost like you feel like you can't even say hi to in the gym or other things like that. Do you think that comes from social media, and like what do you think can be done to kind of reverse that feeling or kind of like promote like better culture, I guess?
Nothing.
Oh.
Like seriously, I mean, it's just life, you know. Like there's forever going to be in kindergarten there's groups, you know, like in nature there's groups, and I think at the end of the day, why it's so important, what we've touched on multiple times on this episode, is just that you want to attract who you attract, and it's go back to making everyone happy, you know. Guys have ego. We have ego. No matter if it's big or small, we all have ego. And if I don't, you know, if my feathers don't ruffle with another one's, like, there's nothing you can do about it, you know.
Yeah.
It's so funny because, like, my dad gets along better with my brother and sister. They you know, get along. They like the same things. They whatever. My dad loves me, but, like, we don't have anything to talk about. You know, like, I tell him something that happened, and he'd be like, all right. Like, he don't care. And it's like, you know, like, at first, you know, you think, like, dang, my dad doesn't care about me. But he's another man just like we are. And just because we don't bond doesn't mean he hates me. We're just not the same kind of person. And that's just life. You know, you can't, you know, people with egos, they're most likely, like, self-conscious about something, and they're overcompensating, you know? So, like, there's nothing you can do about it in life. I feel like I said, as long as you have a positive mindset, you're going to attract those positive people. You're going to attract the negative people too, but there's nothing you can do about that besides keeping true to yourself and I mean, maybe being selective. But either way, if you're doing that, you're still forming a clique. You know what I mean? Definitely. So I feel like there's nothing you can do about it.
Got a last question for you, and then we can get into the answer the internet questions. Is moving forward with muscle mileage? I guess we didn't talk about exactly like is it already dropped or is it dropping?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Shoot, tomorrow.
Because I hadn't seen it yet.
I'm scared.
Because I had a feeling it hadn't yet, but I didn't want to be like late and then be like, oh, I haven't done my research. But anyway, okay, cool. Now, what is dropping? I see you're rocking one of just the shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure because I know I've seen some photos of it, and I was like, is there something else coming out too? Okay, but what do you feel like moving forward? I know you said you're planning like drops in the future, which I think is great to, like we talked about, be calculated and be planned out. But what do you plan on doing, or have you done with this shirt to kind of set yourself apart from, you know, just regular brands? Because I'm sure you would agree there are a lot of small apparel brands that have popped up, and I think it's so difficult, specifically in the space of clothing, to really set yourself apart. Because how I see it, and I mentioned this before to both of them, is it's like you either have very unique designs or logos or things like that set you apart, or the specific kind of material, how things are, you know, stitched or designed have to be kind of special. Because otherwise, it's hard to stand out in such a crowded field.
Again, I think it goes back to even the gym. You know, I like this shirt because this is, if I go to Urban Outfitters, I'm gonna pay $50 for whether it's Hanes, Gildan, whatever T-shirt, and there's nothing special about it. It's just I like the shirt, whatever. And so I think for me, what's gonna like separate necessarily is just doing what I like, you know. And if I attract those certain people, like the cliques or whatever, they're gonna buy it. You know, there's so many brands, there's so many things. You drive down the street, there's 5 car dealer places to fix your car, you know, and they attract the people they like, whether it's whatever they ingrained in the beginning. And so I don't really feel like, besides doing what I like and influencing the people that like that style to do it, I don't think there's really any. Maybe this is not a good answer, but I feel like there's no point of me stressing or even worrying about what's going to set me apart. I'm going to, like, me and what the brand represents is what's going to separate. I think that's a good answer. You know?
I think, sorry, Brock. Maybe kind of more of what he was asking is, like, when I see the shirt, it does kind of resemble to me, like, similar to, I know you had mentioned dark sport before, but, like, I like the fatigue look. I like the oversized. I like the white stitching. Like, you know, was there more intention behind like this new drop versus just like a regular shirt, or like going forward, like do you want to start paying more attention to like certain details like that as you kind of figure out what fits your style or like what you like?
Yeah, like I said, I was what really made me jumpstart again was, you know, I really used to buy a lot of clothes. Like I just like buying clothes, and I go to Urban Outfitters and overpriced shirts, and I'm like, these shirts are literally nothing special.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's the brand. It's the name behind it. It's the same thing with Gucci. And I sat there and I was like, you know, instead of me dropping all this money into these different brands, like I can put in myself and I can do something like similar or what I like.
Definitely.
And so my thing, what I like I said, is graphic tees. You know, I go to the gym, like I like either wearing a nice hoodie or I like wearing a graphic tee that I bought from Urban Outfitters over my stringer, or, you know, whatever it is. And I was like, I'm going to do that for myself. I don't need to spend $40 for this basic shirt. It's nothing special.
When I think there's nothing wrong, too, with, like you mentioned, kind of what, you know, it is just a shirt, but at the end of the day, it's the man behind the brand. It's the brand behind the shirt.
Yeah.
And so if you're putting out, you know, the message, I like that. Is it a newer slogan, your drive, your journey, or is that big?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that, you know, and it's simple things like that, you know, when people see Muscle Mileage, they see the logo, they get a feeling, they get a subconscious thought.
Yeah.
And that's something, you know, I've rambled about how I want people to have those subconscious thoughts when they walk in at the front desk. That's why I've been so kind of critical with, you know, framing those bodybuilding magazines, because it gives people a different feeling, whether they're actively thinking, oh, these are old school bodybuilding magazines, or whether they just see them and it gives them this feeling of golden age, this feeling of excitement about, oh, I'm about to work out or this or that. It's all about the experience rather than sometimes the direct product of the shirt itself.
Oh, it's 100% experience, and that's the thing. Like I said, you can build any gym in the world. There's not like, and this isn't a shot at anything or anyone. This isn't the first gym in the area like that is personal. You know, there's all these different gyms, but what it represents and what kind of feel you get when you walk in there is the difference. You know, like Willow Lawn is the hot spot right now.
Yeah,
Willow Lawn sucks. Like,
sucks.
Like there's no reason why, like, you know, the fan. Like I was liking the fan a while.
Yeah,
it sucks.
You're
you know?
tall for the fan.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There's nothing special about those gyms besides the experience you get there. Willow Lawn right now, it's really popular and people want to go there and make friends, and that's great.
Those pictures.
and that's great, and I'm not taking anything away from that. But like that's why I'm not in the gym. You go to Laburnum, they're catering like Clay, like he buys the equipment for old. You know, he just opened that outside spot. You know, and shout out to Iron Bill, but you know, like it's got more equipment than any other gym there.
Yeah.
Why would I go to a gym where, you know, like, this is why I'm going to that gym. One is, I mean, it's close and stuff, but I think at the end of the day, the experience is so much more important, because you go into Athlete, you automatically, like I said, it's just a like aura almost. It's like the energy, you know, it's like, wow, this is just somewhere where I feel comfortable, you know. And I get that when I travel. You know, California feels dark to me. I don't know. I like California, but you go there and you just get that feeling. You feel like if you're comfortable, if you feel at home, if you feel hostile. And I think in any brand or any supplement, any gym, any store.
Well, I'll ask you a question. So, like, have you been to the shop, I assume, at some point? Yeah. And so you made that 2.5 hour drive, right?
Right.
Just for a workout.
Yeah.
And it's things like that, or it's like going to Alphalete. It's not, sometimes it is like, oh, there's cool machines, there's cool equipment, there's cool people. But at the end of the day, it's the experience, it's the feeling. Like when I've gone to the shop, I've gone twice. The workout's been good, but it isn't the actual physical
The culture
workout.
is no offense, but it's not. Well, at least for me, it's not. But that's the thing, though. It could not be the feel for you.
Yeah.
But
for someone else.
Someone else can go in there and be like, wow, this is like is home, you know?
Yeah,
and
you can't. It's like when I told you when I was giving you the tour, it's like we're not going to be the Machine Emporium and have anything and everything. We're not going to be able to compete with whatever Golds has funding-wise. But what we are going to be able to provide is that experience, is that culture, is something different, something special that hopefully people don't mind driving an extra 10, 20 minutes from their other gym, because that makes their workout and that makes them that much excited to be here and work out here rather than they're crunched down the street or they're Planet Fitness, wherever the hell they are.
Yeah.
Fucking A, dude.
Right.
And I just wanted to chime in. I'm sure, and you explained it well with whether it be a gym or a supplement company or a apparel brand. It's who's behind it and what their thoughts are, their vision. And you already have a mission And, even from our last show, you had, a reason why muscle mileage, it is your drive, your journey, and how far are you willing to take it, type deal. So there is there's a lot more to it than just a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, actually, I talked in my story about how many times I failed with it and how I decided to continue, and literally, I mean, it's not a lot, but I gained 50 plus followers literally off that story. And so that message, obviously it resonated with people, and it goes behind, like I said, what it represents and how that attracts people, more so than just the shirt.
The journey.
That's
it. Yeah. So this is Answer the Internet from Barstool Sports. Answers or questions as fucked up as you are, so they might be a little
Sometimes
raunchy.
the answers are as fucked up as you are.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, Brock picked them, so I'm sure they're nice, good cherries. I'm gonna start it off today. So we got polled the internet. That's decent. What's better, being a cowboy or a pirate? I'll start it off. I'm going pirate just because you get to raid, pillage, get drunk, and sail the seas, sail the 7 seas, and have booty.
Booty.
What are y'all's thoughts? Cowboys or pirates?
I'll be a cowboy.
I like dressing like a cowboy, maybe. But as far as the actual thing, I don't really feel like I like riding a horse or I'm not trying to
I think of Jack
pull
Sparrow.
a beer and horse beer for my horses and
Pirates of
round
the
up
Caribbean.
the criminals. I'd rather probably be a pirate. I feel like I'd like using a sword and getting some booty and treasure,
Booty and
I would
treasure.
say probably
Separate.
cowboy, because pirate, you have to think if you're on the sea, you're in just the barracks of
Exactly.
the ship the whole
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
always rocking. You have limited food rations.
But I'm
Can't
coming,
go
I'm coming to
home.
your
Yeah.
cowboy town and I'm stealing it up, though.
But I got my revolvers,
Yeah, but
and you
you're
can't
on
kill
my
me with a
turn.
machete.
Yeah, so I know how to navigate
Come
the
here,
turf
puppet.
that you
Yeah.
invade.
The bitches love boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oops,
shit.
no. Alright,
Cow-
Miles, go ahead.
I would say cowboy. No,
yeah.
I want to. Cowboy, like I said, because one, you're at home. I mean, the females are going to be on the land.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
I imagine you with a cowboy hat and some big snakeskin
He reminds
boots.
me, you know what he reminds me of is the Old Town Road music video. You ever seen that?
No.
Oh man, have any of y'all seen it?
Well, Lil
I
Nas.
don't
It's
think
Lil
so.
Nas X with the cowboy hat on and in the sand. You guys look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want one of those old school revolvers. Those things are
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
from the
Because you're
leather.
still like a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
maybe
but
a-
you uphold the
Maybe a
law.
muscle mileage vest coming soon.
ooh, drop
Leather
it next,
vest?
Drop it next week. I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, cowboy for sure.
You next, my man.
I'm scared. Would you rather have no music for the rest of your life or have all music be sung by your significant other?
Is she a good singer?
Oh, dude. No music for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I'd probably go no music. But
Either
then,
way,
I don't know,
for
that'd
me, it
kill
would be
things.
no music.
Even
Yeah. You
Well,
gotta pick your imaginary significant
even
other.
Sarah says she doesn't sing that well. So even she says that
I don't
herself.
sing
so.
too bad.
Maddie won't sing in front of me. She just doesn't like being picked on, so she's scared I'm gonna make fun of her. I'm like, you're stuck with me for a long time, so
Yeah.
it's
Go
like
ahead- go ahead and belt
you
that
might as
shit
well,
out.
yeah, you might as well be goofy with me.
Honestly, I could say no music only for the fact that, man. No, I don't know. Go ahead. I don't know.
I guess no music.
Oh,
If you have
Wait,
no significant
ooh.
other.
Yeah, I would say I do significant other, and what if you can't have? What if you don't have a girlfriend? What happens then? Or a significant
Then
other?
you
What
have
do you?
to
Well, like
sing.
your-
Oh,
I
come
guess your
on,
mom.
just play around with the question. And
My
see
bad,
what
I'll
you
get
do.
technical.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get a song by my significant other probably.
Let's see. Is there any athlete you would be okay with your girlfriend fucking?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Maybe Tom Brady.
Are you going off that
Geriatric.
looks or what? Like, how'd you pick that answer?
No, I'm just thinking if I had to pick someone, it wouldn't be I don't want Shaq or LeBron James. I don't want that. But
Richard Simmons?
it's not an athlete.
I just. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody worthy
I would pick
that I would
someone.
be okay with.
I'll pick someone popular, but because if you pick a rookie, then they might not be the only person hitting that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I assume this is a one-time thing. You get a little clout. You're like, hey, back in the day, her and Tom Brady.
I couldn't be mad.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pound it.
I couldn't be mad. I always said that if someone famous is trying to hook up with you, like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna be happy with it.
Oh, have y'all ever had the thing, y'all two specifically, where like Maddie said, like, I guess her mom had done this, and other people do it too, where they'd be like, okay, if you get like one person that's like super famous, you can choose that if they were like
that's a trick
on
question.
you.
They're like, you would do that?
Yeah, no, but you get like one pass or something. Like for her, it's like The Rock or something. But you know what I pick for mine?
Who is it again?
Recency bias. It's like basically it's like one person that's a celebrity that if like you could hook up with them, you can like get off scot free. It's not like a deal. Off recency bias, I said Megan Thee Stallion.
Who's that?
Oh,
a rapper.
my God.
Savage. I'm a savage.
No.
That's her.
rapper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is her. Yeah.
I'm a savage.
No,
Classy,
she WAP.
bougie.
She's
I
in
haven't
WAP.
seen
Not
that.
Cardi B. She's a bitch. I don't like her.
I haven't seen her.
I
I gotta look her up. I haven't seen her music videos.
Honestly,
I haven't seen music videos.
I would say Megan Thee Stallion's like just an average.
She's
Ooh,
nothing
she
crazy.
average.
She's nothing crazy. I just feel like, I don't know, I had some recency bias. Like, my thoughts have probably changed now. But for a while, I was like, I don't know, I saw a video on Twitter of her gyrating, and I was like,
Gyrating.
All right.
yeah.
Shucking
And I was
and
like,
jiving.
yeah. I was like, that'd be a quick
I
20
still
seconds.
can't get on the athlete thing, man. Like, I'm trying to think, and I'm like, I don't know, like,
Yeah, I know, like Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk?
that'd be nice and boring.
He's like
trying to think of,
60
like,
now.
nice and boring.
Yeah, but I don't watch football,
She'd never go back to that
basketball,
again.
baseball, anything like that.
Yeah,
So, like,
I don't know. I don't really keep up with either.
Shaun
It would be.
White, I don't know.
It
Who are
wouldn't be
some other
okay with me, but I would let it happen. Like, I mean,
I guess Tom Brady. I mean, that's like, I don't know. Like,
We're like merging questions
Yeah.
at this point. Let me get
Michael Vick.
oh,
And the dogs.
and the dog.
What's better, boneless wings or regular wings?
Boneless.
So chicken nuggets.
Yeah,
That's
you
my-
can eat them with
I-
a knife and fork. You don't have to chew
I
around
knew
bones.
he would say this.
Well,
I
I
knew
don't
he'd
want
say
You
sauce
this.
don't
on
get
my
it on your
fingers.
face. Yeah.
I
I'm
have
a
a
bone
beard,
guy.
and I'm going all bone.
I'm a bone guy.
That's because you would probably like
The boneless just
taste
feel
it
weird.
later
I
on.
mean, they're
and
good,
lick it
but
to the
they're
side.
just.
Yeah, but traditional. They got the bone gives it
There's
flavor.
something more satisfying
It
when you
gives it
know
flavor.
you've like eaten all the meat off the bone.
Nah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm going boneless.
But what? All right.
I don't know.
Nice.
It's a mood for
Go
me.
ahead and
Me
some
and
chicken
Miles
nuggets.
have
Yeah, get your
agreed on like
nuggies.
every question.
chicken nuggies.
Cowboys with boneless wings.
Yeah.
All right, to polish it off, when you're getting your boneless wings,
Yes.
are you doing sauce or are you doing dry?
Sauce.
Sauce.
All right, well, at least that. I
Where
think
you
anybody
doing
that gets
dry bone
anybody
in?
that gets either bone or boneless and gets dry rub, why even get the wings? I like you gotta be saucing
Wait, no. I either get
Favorite
barbecue.
Buffalo Wild Wing sauce.
medium or hot.
Parmesan
I'm
garlic.
well, spicy garlic's
This guy and
good.
his Parmesan
Spicy garlic is good, but I like either hot or like somewhat like a medium hot type deal.
You're gonna judge me. I get the Chipotle barbecue. It's a dry rub
Oh.
on the bone.
Like
On the
Don't
bone.
they have some like honey barbecue one?
Yeah, that's what I get for
pretty good.
boneless though, or
Yeah.
bones.
And you do you drink water after every one because they're so dry? and
Yeah,
shit,
well,
man?
they're spicy.
Well, they ain't got no sauce.
Sriracha's
though,
too
man.
spicy.
Honestly, I'm not a big chicken person.
What do you eat then? You eat
Pizza.
Chick-fil-A all the time.
No, like I'm talking like bone.
Oh,
Like,
bone.
kind of freaks me out sometimes.
I love pizza too. Well, that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love pizza.
Well, all right, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you for coming back on, Miles. Dude,
Thanks for having
love to
me.
have you back on again. About to catch a lift, I guess. And that being said, if you have any questions for us for the next episode, drop them down in the questions below. And obviously, follow us all on social media, which will be in the description below. And until next time, we're out of here. And you know what? You can go ahead and cut.